It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news. This is the Southwest Outdoors Report.
Hi everyone, and welcome into the Upper Texas Gulf Coast to Galveston, Texas. Just over my left shoulder, you are watching the headlights of the cars coming right over the causeway headed from the mainland into Galveston. And on this week's show, we're going to do something we've never done in 11 years of your Southwest Outdoors Report. Come this way and I'll show you what I'm talking about. The sun has already gone down back over the horizon, and right here we've got a flounder gigging boat. It's specially set up to take us out and do some flounder gigging at night. Greg Verm is a famous charter captain around these parts. He runs trips for speckled trout, redfish, all the standard fare. But on this week's show, he's taking you and me out in the boat with some big lights, and we're gonna try to look for some flounder, try to gig a few. I'll even take a few back home to eat. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Can't wait to do it. We've never done this before on the show. And while we're out doing that, we are gonna run you around the region for your latest fishing reports from your favorite lake, river, stream, or bay. A lot of excitement in the next half hour. Let's get it started by taking you back to the FSN studios where Julie has your weekend planner.
Unfortunately, the fishing tables are forecasting poor conditions for your Labor Day weekend at the lake. The best activity will occur a little bit after daybreak and again around the time the sun goes down. Expect sunrise to take place at 7:01 and the sun to set at 7:53. And evenings will feature a crescent moon 21% illuminated. We'll be right back with all the latest freshwater and coastal fishing information from around our region. Plus, professional angler Edwin Evers from Oklahoma joins us on the Whataburger Ask the Pro to talk about line selection when crankbait fishing.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Costa Sunglasses. See what's out there. By Lubes, setting a new standard in fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Strand Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability. And by Strike King Lures, #1 in fishing.
There's one.
You see him?
I see him.
Where? Where is he?
Right there.
I want to see him. I want to see him.
Right there.
Get him.
I got him.
I got him. Coming up. Here we go. Here we go. Coming up. Got him. All right.
Good.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We have got a flounder. We've been at this for quite a while, and we finally got a fish. Can you get him like off the gig and where we can get him up here and show these folks what a flounder looks like? We've had to work really hard at this. This is not optimum conditions, and we'll explain to you why and the conditions you do need if you want to book a trip to come do this. But Greg Verm is our captain for the show, and he gigged that one. And there's what a nice, hold him up nice and high here. There's what a nice Galveston flounder looks like. They're beautiful fish, beautiful spots on him. And this fish will go how much, Greg?
This is 3-pound fish.
3-pound fish, something like that. Greg, explain, well, actually, let me first of all get us set up. We are out here in a boat that's specially rigged for this purpose. Now, it's a flat bottom aluminum boat, shallow draft boat. It will run in water about 1 foot deep. And what happens is Greg and his son Gregory have been up there, and I'll show you some shots of what's going on here, but they're up on the front leaning against a specially built rail with some halogen lights hanging over the bow of the boat, shining down in the water. And what they're doing is visually looking at the bottom as they pull their way along, looking for these flounder laying on the bottom. Now, this boat is powered, one of the few boats that's powered by a fan. Not very many captains do this, but this has got a fan on the back of it, and the fan actually allows Greg to push this boat up in even shallower water than most anybody else can get up in. So Greg, you actually get a shot at fish that probably a lot of folks would never get a shot at.
Right, trolling motor will dig too deep, and so we use a fan, gets us in actually up to 8 inches, as shallow as 8 inches of water.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, well, we've got to start here, and that's a nice way to get it started. I'll explain why the conditions are tough for doing this right now, and again, tell you what time of the year and what the conditions need to be if you want to book a trip. This is some of the most fun you can possibly have gigging flounder at night, so we're going to tell you all about that. But we got to start right now, though. We are going to move you along and check on your latest fishing and lake reports. Let's go to Louisiana and Cajun Phil.
Hey friends, this is old Cajun Phil with your Fox, Louisiana fishing report. Well, we're still on the road. We're still out here fishing and trying different areas and trying to bring you some reports from various areas. We just came back from Caddo Lake. Caddo Lake, they're catching lots of bass right now, but you keep in mind, early in the morning, late in the afternoon, you got to throw something like a chug bug or a walk the dog type bait. We've been throwing Strike Pro, and we've been catching some really nice bass early and late. And once the sun comes up, starts warming up, you're putting on a little old bitty frog and throwing it across the lily pads. What we like to do is a 1/16 ounce slip sticker, put it about 6 inches ahead of a lizard, throw it right next to the grass line, and you'll do good there. Over on Toledo Bend, I just hung up from talking to Joe Jocelyn. Joe said Cajun and school bass are still schooling between 6 Mile and the dam. He said you want bigger fish, you need to go deep. He said they're fishing deep water points with either Carolina rig or drop shot, and they're catching lots of pretty nice bass. When I say pretty nice, 3 up to 5 pounds. Nothing really big right now. As far as the saltwater action goes, well, I just hung up from Captain Kevin down on Calcasieu Lake. He's doing really good on redfish. He said if you want redfish, he said he's talking about big redfish, those stuff that you don't generally keep. The big old bull reds, you're catching lots of them down around the Gulf jetties right now. Live bait, mullets doing really good there. Speckled trout, well, a lot of school trout in the lake, and they're doing good when the wind's not blowing. Over in Delacroix, I talked to Captain Jack with Sweetwater Marina. Captain Jack's been catching limits of speckled trout every day. He's using live shrimp. He said the red fishermen are coming in with a few reds each and every day. They're throwing mostly spoons because the grass is so thick and heavy. Down in the Gulf of Mexico right now, when you can get out, keep in mind, you got to watch these afternoon thunderstorms, and we've been getting a lot of those. But when you can get out, a lot of tuna, especially yellowfin tuna, also wahoo and dolphin. Right now, friends, all I can say is all across the state, it's really good. Hope next week we can be back on live and bring you some pictures and show you what's going on. Till then, this is Old Cajun Phil for Captain Kevin. Saying happy fishing, may God bless, and we go see you next week. Bye-bye.
You got him?
I got him.
Is he on there?
He's on.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We got one pinned down right now. We got him. See if we can get him up here in the boat. Here he comes. All right, we got one.
All right. Good job.
Hey.
There we go. Nice
All
fish.
right, let's show him for these folks. Let's turn him around and show the other side of him there. There is a nice sized flounder. Hold him out here in front and let her get a good look at it. That's a good one right there.
It is.
Now, Greg, how big do they need to be a keeper?
14 inches.
And this one will go
This
what?
is 18, 19 inches easy.
All right, so this is good solid fish right here. Greg, a lot of things have to get right for this to happen. List off a couple of the factors that have to get right.
Wind plays a big part in where the areas we can gig. Water clarity, of course. We're fighting the east wind, and it's dirtying up a lot of our good areas that have been holding the fish. So we've been just grinding it out here where the water's clear and the wind's letting us do what we need to do.
You need the sky right, you need the wind right, you need the water clarity right. And a lot of that has not been right tonight. It's just now kind of getting right, but it's actually going to get daylight here before too long, so we're almost out of time. But we've hung in here long enough to show you a good one. Hold him up here right in front of you and show him one more time. That's a nice flounder. That one is going to be fine in the skillet right there. And I'll tell you, we're gonna keep this one, and we're gonna get resituated here. And right now, though, we're gonna take you all the way back up to the far end of our region, up to Oklahoma. Check in with Gary Dollahan, your fishing reports from there, and we'll be back here to Galveston to talk more about some of the things you need to do if you want to book your own trip to come here and do this. You're not going to have the rig you need to do this, but he does. He's got several of these boat rigs just like this, and all the gigs and everything you need, custom made. He does all of his own stuff. We'll talk about some of that gear coming up in just a second, but here's Gary.
Hey, it's definitely still summertime here in Oklahoma, but you know what? The light intensity is starting to take on a fallish look to it. I do think it has a big impact on what our fish do this time of year. What I've noticed on the last recent outings is that in the afternoon period, 3 to 6:30, lots of schools of bait fish come to the surface. You're starting to see lots of bass activity in and around those schools of bait fish. You can catch those fish doing a couple different things. Take a 3.5-inch soft plastic swim bait, swim it just underneath the surface through those schools of shad, you're going to catch some bass. Caught some nice smallmouth doing that recently on Skytook. We also caught largemouth in that type of situation using plastic worms 6 to 9 feet deep, and also crankbaits that will run 6 to 9 to 10 foot deep. Saw exactly the same thing at Jimmy Houston's Twin Eagles Lake down near Sulphur, Oklahoma. He was hosting Shorty Powers and Jason Swanson of Turning Point, along with Bill Wilcox of Honey Hole All Outdoors TV. They're promoting an upcoming Physically Challenged Juniors Tournament on Lake Ray Hubbard, October 12th. They're still looking for volunteer boat drivers. Youth can still sign up to fish it. Go to turningpointnation.org for the details. Winning youth and a volunteer boat driver are going to have the chance to come fish Jimmy Houston's private lake, something that's really a special opportunity. If you can't take advantage of that opportunity, you still need to take a kid fishing, because one thing about it, they can't catch them if they don't go.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. By Motor Guide Trolling Motors, engineered for anglers. By Whataburger, just like you like it. And by Nitro Performance Bass Boats, pure performance.
There's one right there. Right there. Got him.
Got him, got him.
We got him.
We got one. Bring him on, bring him on. Looky here. He's being real careful to make sure he gets this fish in the boat. There we go.
There we go.
Not a monster, but just a
good eating size fish.
Another good fish right there. All right. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Southwest Outdoors Report. Up. Get him, Gregory. We are flounder gigging out here at night, folks. And turn him around and show. That's what we're fishing for right there. That'll just get us going right here. And how big will this fish be right here?
That's about a 16-inch fish.
Okay, and they've got to be 14 inches to be a keeper, so that's a keeper. We're with Greg Verman. Greg, first of all, explain just a little bit about the timing. If folks want to come do this, we're not in the perfect time to do this. We're kind of fighting everything.
Right. The best time of the year is October. November, they shut gigging down, and Texas Parks and Wildlife does, but the December is great. October and December is probably the two best months there is.
Okay, so October, skip November, and then December are your prime months. But
yes.
now you do this pretty much year-round.
Year-round, absolutely. Through the summer, spring, you get a spring flounder run as well, where they start coming back into the base from the Gulf, and that's a good time to pick up the flounder gigging too.
And obviously, we're doing this still in the late part of the summertime, and these fish that are still just hanging around the marsh out here, what are they doing here right now?
They're feeding. They're just there feeding, waiting on the tide started to come in. Another set of flounder have come in, feeding on finger mullet and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we did catch. Let me tell you this: we caught the bigger one you saw. In fact, I want to show you this. It was actually bigger than we said it was. Greg thought it was maybe 18 inches or so, but we actually show you a shot here. We put it on the ice chest. That fish went 21 inches, so that's just a really good
That's a
flounder.
good fish. Anything over 20 inches I consider a very solid good fish.
And one other thing I want to mention is that you guys have really gigged some giant ones here. How big did these fish run? We're going to show you a couple of still photos here.
We gigged one just 2 nights ago that was 26 inches. It was an 8.5 pound fish.
Wow.
Big fish. For August we're anticipating a great fall.
And the biggest one you've gigged in the last year or so has been what? You said 9.5?
9.5 pounds.
Wow. So we'll show you a couple of quick shots of these giant flounder. You've got a chance to gig a real trophy giant flounder of a lifetime if you come do this. Or
Absolutely.
You can take something home to eat like that.
Very good.
That's a dynamite fish right there. All right. Well, we're out here pounding away at it. We've worked hard at this, and the bugs are starting to be attracted to the light right now, so we're going to get out of here. Right now, though, we're going to take you to the rest of your Texas fishing reports. Brian Hughes is coming up with your freshwater reports. Bill Olson, the guy that actually turned me on to Greg Verm right here, is right after that with your saltwater reports down on the Texas Gulf Coast.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Camo-Ramic. Camo for your truck, not your clothes. Now, this week we're going to visit Lake Fork, where they're catching some really big fish at night. Using a big 12-inch black blue worm on a 1/4-ounce sinker, fishing around the 12-foot mark in channels with timber is yielding some pretty big overnight bass. Now, daytime fishermen will fish much the same approach, except change your colors a little bit. Go with your red shads and your June bugs, and maybe even a little chartreuse black pepper. Work those same areas. You can also work a jig. Now, this pattern ought to keep working right up till September 7th, when the Mad Dog Moore Memorial Bass Tournament will be happening out of Oak Ridge Marina. This is in memory of police officer Michael David Moore, who was killed in the line of duty. And you can find out more at the website about this big event on September 7th, Oak Ridge at Lake Fork. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, Texas Outdoors Journal brings you this week's report. Whether you fish or hunt in Texas, you should be reading Texas Outdoors Journal. Once again named the best major outdoor publication in the Lone Star State. Every month we'll tell you where to go, what to expect once you get there, and how to do it a little bit better. Pick up a copy of Texas Outdoors Journal on newsstands or subscribe securely at the website on the screen. Well, conditions along the Texas coast have started to settle after the tropical disturbance dropped rain and raised tides over most of the area. Now, as the tides recede, look for bird activity to increase on Sabine, Trinity, and Galveston bays, with bait being dumped back into the marshes. With lighter winds, anglers fishing over deeper reefs or drifting clam beds will be rewarded. Live bait and soft plastics are good options. The surf will also be another good option under forecasted light winds. Now, mouths of back lakes on the middle coast will see increased activity as tides drop out. Also, redfish activity will pick up. Look for redfish schools to be on the move on Aransas Bay Flats all the way southward to Emmers Hole and the Meadows in the upper Laguna Madre. Port Mansfield anglers continue to wade deeper grass and find fish near the intercoastal waterway. Now, out of Port Isabel, Long Bar, and the causeways remain good for trout and redfish. South Bay remains good for a variety of fish, including trout, redfish, mangrove snapper, and snook. Offshore activity will also resume with improved conditions. Anglers fishing around shrimp boats continue to find dorado, blackfin tuna, and the occasional wahoo. With favorable winds, look for weed lines to form around rips and hold other pelagic species. This weekend, Saturday has a single tide schedule of 1 high and 1 low tide. This Sunday is a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
The Southwest Outdoors Report is brought to you by Mercury, the official outboard of the Southwest Outdoors Report for 11 years running, by Academy, right stuff, low price, every day, and by Tracker Boats, fish the finest.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for our Whataburger Ask the Pro question. This week, Debbie in Oklahoma would like to know, what type of line should I use with crankbaits? For some insight, we asked Bassmaster Elite Angler Edwin Evers.
When I'm fishing crankbaits, you know the question, fluorocarbon versus monofilament, which one is best? 90% of the time, I'm always throwing fluorocarbon. The only time I'm going to throw mono is if I'm trying to keep a bait up high in the water column. Say I'm reeling a rattle bait up over the top of the grass. Monofilament tends to give the bait more buoyancy. Fluorocarbon is going to bring a bait down. You're going to get a bait deeper. So fluorocarbon, trying to get a bait deeper, a lot less stretch, it works a lot better, you get a lot better feel with your crankbaits. Monofilament is one of those things that if you're trying to keep a bait up high in the strike zone, that's when I use monofilament.
Thanks, Edwin. If you need help from one of the pros, go to southwestouttdoorsreport.com, follow the Ask the Pro link, and submit your question. Now let's see who wins a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
Thanks very much. We're back at the hotel after a long night's fishing and a few hours of sleep. Ready to go again, and congratulations to this week's winner, Costa Catch of the Week contest. He is Ryan Robinson of College Station, Texas, showing an 8-pound largemouth bass from Lake Somerville. Now listen to what he writes. I went to Lake Somerville after watching the most recent episode of the Southwest Outdoors Report, and I used the same lure in the episode and found the area where Barry caught his big bass. I was able to duplicate what I saw on TV and caught my personal best. Thanks, Barry. You know, sometimes it does pay to watch our show. Congratulations to Ryan. If you'd like a chance to win your very own pair of Costa sunglasses like Ryan does this week, go to our website at southwestouttdoorsreport.com. The right-hand side of the front page the Costa Catch of the Week area, click in that box, follow the instructions, and send us your photo. And if you'd like to see all the Costa frame and lens styles, on the front page of SouthwestOutdoorsReport.com is the Costa logo. Click on that and it will take you to their site where you can see all of the frame and lens styles, including this month's frame style of the month, Salt Break. Next up, it's the Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stuff feature, and it's the gear you'll need if you want to put your own nighttime flounder gigging trip together. You don't have to have all of the elaborate gear that Greg Verm and all of his guides have like you saw on this week's show, but you will need, first of all, some kind of a bright halogen light. They make one that clips onto the bill of your cap and it'll shine down in the water. You'll need to be knee deep or less in some pretty clear water. The only other thing you really need is some sort of a gig. You can get those at your local Academy store. They make either a very inexpensive one or some fairly elaborate ones, and you can go gigging on your own. Recently, I was driving through the neighborhood where I grew up, and I saw something that brought memories from my childhood flooding back. It was the original Ashburn's Ice Cream Store sign, still standing in its original location on East Rosedale Street in Fort Worth, Texas, after some 50 years. I could vividly remember my dad taking us to that store for a dip of ice cream after dinner on Friday night or after church on Sunday evening. I could remember the taste of the lemon custard or the orange and lime sherbet or the chocolate just like it was yesterday. And after I had thought about it, the point is this: you never know what's going to stick in a young child's mind. All the thousands of memories from my childhood, I can remember that one vividly. Sometimes I can't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday morning. So next time you're out with the kids, think about that. You never know which of all of those positive or negative memories will latch onto that child and stick with him or her for a lifetime. Just something to remember the next time you're spending time with the kids. Hey, I hope you enjoyed our nighttime flounder gigging episode from Galveston, Texas. I want to put up one more time all the information if you would like to book your very own trip to do what we did. It's some of the most excitement you can possibly have in a boat, and you can contact Greg Verm or one of his other trusty guides, the information you see there on your screen. Hey, don't forget, we'll be back on next Thursday night at 10:30, Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, and if those times ever change, you'll be the first to know on the front page of our website. We keep the most recent changes to any of our air times right there for you to take a look at 24/7. Also on the front page of our website, you can click on the YouTube logo, see all the past episodes of our show and catch up, or click on the Facebook logo and see all of our photos, video, and other fishing news that we don't have time for here on the TV show. And you can also catch the latest episode of our show 24/7 right there on that same front page. So from Galveston, Texas, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.